Good morning, folks, and welcome back to Wishwell Farms, and happy Thursday. Getting ready to pack a truck for New Albany Farmers Market that leaves this afternoon. Today is going to be a little unordinary. Not your typical day of farming. And it's something that I thought I should share with you guys because not every day is just a farming day out in the fields and in the greenhouses. So today I have an online training session from 10 a.m. to noon on how to accept senior coupons through the new app that they are now trialing in Ohio. I don't know if this is happening in other states or not. It's a federal program, federally funded program. It's a nutritional program for low-income seniors to have more access to fresh fruits and vegetables at farmers markets. They can't be used on anything else other than fresh fruits and vegetables and herbs. So we have been accepting these paper $5 coupons for years and years and years, probably over 15 years. And this is a pilot program that is starting in many of the counties in Ohio this year, and it's all digital. I don't have high hopes for this pilot program because I just don't see senior citizens using this app to purchase their fresh fruits and vegetables at farmers markets. In the past, they were mailed an envelope with paper coupons that were worth $5 each, and they would hand them to us at the farmers markets in exchange for $5 worth of produce. And then we would turn those in. I would only turn them in like once a year at the end of the season, but you can turn them in weekly or bi-weekly if you like. The digital platform will allow the farmers to receive their money weekly. Actually, I think after 2 days. It'll get deposited to their account that is assigned to this app almost immediately, as soon as it's processed the next day. So that is nice for farmers that want to get their money right away. I don't mind sitting on mine for a while. It's kind of nice to turn all these coupons in at the end of the season. Sometimes it's $15,000 or $20,000 at the end of the season, and then getting a big check in like November. It's almost like an after-season payday. So it kind of forces me to be a little tighter with my money during the growing season, and then it's like getting a great big payday after the season's over. So it never bothered me, but some other smaller farmers may like the idea of getting their money right away. So yeah, I got this training session at 10 a.m. It's in 20 minutes, so got to go inside, sit down at the computer for at least an hour and a half, up to 2 hours, and learn how this pilot program is going to work. I've already downloaded the app on my phone. I have to be approved, I guess, to be able to use this. The seniors will have a QR code that they show us at the farmers market, and we have to type in how much they're buying, whether it's, I think it's still in increments of $5, $5, $10, or $15. I think they all get $20 at least per senior. And then we have to scan our phone over their QR code so it knows which senior citizen is buying produce. That's all I know so far. So the other drawback I see is not only the senior citizens having to deal with this technology on their phones, but I have to have all of my employees download this app and train them. I'll have to train them on how this works. It's not as simple as just go to a farmer's market and get handed a $5 coupon. It's probably going to be easier for them, this younger generation. It's just another app. It probably no big deal, but I don't like it. Change is never easy, but I'll let you know how it goes and I'll keep you updated. So another thing that's happening today that is not your typical thing happening on a vegetable farm is I have to renew all of my tags, my registration for all my trucks and trailers. So each year I am mailed from Ohio Department of Transportation a list of commercial vehicles that have to have their tags renewed, and mine happen to expire at the end of June. So I have 2 trailers, 5 box trucks, and 3 pickup trucks that all need renewed today. So I'm going to go down to the local BMV and update my tags, and then get all the stickers put on my vehicles and my trailers. And it's usually a pretty expensive day, about $1,100 or $1,200 annually to renew my tags. So definitely not cheap to keep all these vehicles and trailers on the road during the farming season, but something that has to be done. And then this afternoon, another thing that I always do every Thursday is I have to run to the bank and get change for all my money boxes at farmers markets. Even though we're only at 5 locations right now, in a couple weeks we'll be at all 7 locations. Well, the 7th location will be our own farm stand inside here. I always tend to run low on quarters and $1 bills and $10 bills. And this time I'm out of everything, even nickels and dimes. So I'll be making a run to the bank to get a big change order. Sometimes it costs me $500, $600, $700 in change, just to make sure all of 7 of our money boxes have what they need to operate for Saturday farmers markets. Well, here's something else random happening right now. I'm taking my camper up to the tire shop to get 2 new tires for my RV anniversary trip next week. Another random thing I'm working on today. I need 2 of these motors. These are bad. And you see this weird 3-hole mounting on the back that's attached to the motor. Those are hard to find. And they go inside. They mount on this little carriage thing, whatever you want to call it. And these are for my coil fans. Let me show you inside the cooler here. So they run the blowers on my coil. I got 2 that are out. See what happens when you got a fan motor out? It ices up. Look at all that ice. So definitely got to get those replaced. I had a heck of a time finding these things. I've searched the internet far and wide and can't find the right mounting bracket on that. I was about ready to just rig something up that would work, but fortunately there's a motor place down the road about 20 miles from here in Kenton that didn't have them in stock, but that can order them. So I got 2 of them coming. They'll be in tomorrow, and I need to get that thing repaired because last year there was 1 out the entire season and there was a massive chunk of ice there all summer. So now that there's 2 out, I definitely need to get those replaced. $175 a piece. I couldn't believe it. So a couple hours ago, I hooked up the final 4 rows of irrigation to my butternut and spaghetti squash that I did not have planted the last time I worked on irrigation. So they are out being watered. I need to go check the end of the road and make sure there's no leaks and that the lines are pressurized. All right, here's those 4 rows of butternut and spaghetti squash. And I see that all 4 rows have the drip tape pressurized and working. You can see the ground's already getting moist right there. And I've been watering these zucchini and cucumbers almost every day. I want to make sure those beds are nice and moist because when it's hot out and these things are really growing and setting fruit, it's amazing how quickly they dry out underneath the bed. And if it gets dry, you're playing catch up, and you can water continually and never get the bed moist like it should be. And then you start getting off fruit, misshapen fruit and things like that. I'm calling them fruit. I know they're really vegetables. Zucchini and cucumbers are vegetables, but I guess as a produce farmer, I just always say setting fruit on everything. Look at this beautiful golden wheat, just about ready for harvest. Wow. So this area right here is where we used to grow our hardy mums, our fall mums. This will be year number 2 of us not growing mums, but our very first year not growing pumpkins. So last year I still grew pumpkins and I just bought mums to go along with the pumpkins. But for about 7 years, 6 or 7 years, I'm guessing, we grew mums. We had ground cover down right here all the way up to that telephone pole from the grass to the road. I'll throw a couple pictures up real quick so you can see what our chrysanthemums looked like out here when we grew them for the last couple years. So here's a question I have for you guys. I'm getting ready to harvest this. I'm not going to harvest it myself. My neighbors down the road, they also grow wheat. I'm going to offer it to him to have. If he will bring his combine down here and harvest this, he can have the wheat. I just want this out of here so I can do something new with it. What should I do? My wife wants wildflowers out here. I think that sounds pretty cool. So we might be sowing wildflowers into this wheat stubble, or I could grow a late sweet corn crop. So many different things I could do out here on this little half acre of wheat ground. What would you guys suggest? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, final thing I'm doing before lunch is watering our plants. Starting to get a little empty in here. So this time of year, I have to water everything in here twice a day when the sun's out, which is most days. It's just so, it gets so hot in here that it dries everything out. And I do not use a shade cloth. I do have a black shade cloth for this greenhouse, but I do not use it because we're almost done with starting plants. As soon as this broccoli and cauliflower is ready to transplant in a couple weeks, I'll be done in here. And it will be empty, and then I would have to remove the shade cloth. So we just get by dealing with the heat and watering twice a day, and it's really only like that for a couple weeks, so it's not worth the headache to me to put it on and take it off. You probably noticed that I water in a tic-tac-toe pattern. That way I make sure I get good coverage on every cell. All right, this box truck is just about ready for farmer's market. I still have zucchini, garlic scapes, and salsa in a cooler that I'm gonna roll out after lunch. Time to eat. All right, here at the bank to get my change order. Got me a little box here with $600 in it for quarters, dimes, nickels, and ones. All right, we got all of our change that'll last us at least a week. 300 ones and $500 worth of quarters, nickels, and dimes. Something a grain farmer never has to worry about. All right, pulling in here to the local BMV to renew my commercial tags. Fun. At least it's not busy. Actually, it's pretty dead. This is a great time to be here. Middle of the week and mid-afternoon. So I just returned from the BMV with my renewed tags. Time to put them on the plates. All right, so here's all my updated vehicle registrations and tags and insurance cards out of every truck. So I grabbed the insurance card and the registration. I'm gonna staple it together, go put that sticker on the plate, fold this up and put it in the glove box. And I'll repeat that on every truck. And then the trailers, I'll put them in the truck that actually pulls that trailer. Oh, the fun part of farming. Yeah, right. Just making sure I match up all of these certificates of insurance with the appropriate registration. That's a trailer. There's another box truck. You just always confirm that the I'm matching up the serial number or the VIN number correctly. Can't imagine doing this for a fleet of hundreds of trucks. 8 is enough. Put that new sticker on there. Good to go for another year. In the glove box of every Isuzu box truck, I have last year's registration and insurance card. We'll discard that. Fold the new one up nice and pretty. Like so. Now she's legal for another year. Now just repeat 9 times. Well, the employees both showed up in time and they just went down the road towards New Albany Farmers Market, and it's 84 degrees, beautiful summer-like temperatures for a farmer's market. It's a little breezy. On breezy days, you got to be careful with your pop-up tents. They require you to hang weights from your tents or attach to your tent legs. The last thing you want is a tent to blow up in the air and injure somebody, and that's how you get a lawsuit. So this truck here does not have registration or insurance. It is strictly a farm truck for field use only, for bringing zucchini and cucumbers up out of the field. But it used to be my personal vehicle for many, many years. It's been on the farm for over 20 years. Good work truck. All right, the new Albany truck has made it home from market and has been unloaded and parked back out in the driveway. And now I have one more non-typical farming task to complete, and that is to count the money box they brought home. Now tonight, it's only going to take me 5 or 10 minutes to count that cash and reload it for the next market. But on Saturdays, that's a different story. When we're running in full capacity, I'll have 7 of those things brought home on a Saturday afternoon, and it'll take me darn near an hour to count all of those on a Saturday evening or a Sunday afternoon, get them reloaded for the next markets, prepare deposits, and it's just one of those things that a vegetable farmer has to do that a lot of other farmers probably never even think about. So I'm going to take this inside, get this counted, and move on to the next job. So I realize today's video is not your typical vegetable farming video, but I just wanted to show you guys all a little bit of some of the other things that goes on around a farming operation, specifically a vegetable farming operation that sells direct to consumer at farmers markets. Now in the next video, I will be showing you guys a couple pieces of equipment that I have not yet ever shown on any of my videos. One of them is right here behind me. It is a high pressure, one-sided boom sprayer for applying insecticides and fungicides on vegetables. So we're going to be getting that out and going over it, and I'll show you how it works, and we'll probably take it out in the field and actually use it. And there's one other piece of equipment that I almost guarantee that none of you have ever heard of. It is called a man car. It is an Italian-made piece of equipment that has atomizers on it for applying a herbicide to kill weeds between the row middles, the aisleways, between the rows of plastic. It's a pretty simple looking piece of equipment, but very, very expensive, and one of the most important pieces of equipment on my farm for controlling weeds, and I think every vegetable farmer should have one. So stick around for that next video. Alrighty folks, so this is where we're gonna wrap up today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you all again real soon down on the farm.